This van has a shower inside its kitchen. Let's talk about the pros and cons of that decision, as well as the other design decisions that were made during the van build.
Welcome back to Lewis the Van. It's been just over a month since we completed our last conversion, yet here we are again today with another one for the books. This hyper-modern dark theme is a design concept we've been fantasizing about for a while now, so it's so exciting to see it finally come to life. This is a black 159 wheelbase high roof Ram ProMaster. The most distinguishable installment you'll notice upon first entering this home on wheels is this hexagonal tile-to-floor transition. From the naked eye, it may be difficult to see that this goes beyond an artistic statement, as the entire tiled portion slopes down gradually enough to meet this drain, which is the lowest point in the van. The main
Whoa, that's interesting. A drain, I wonder if that's some sort of shower or something. I mean, must be. There's a reason there's a drain there, and if it's in the middle of the room here, there's no fixed shower anywhere. I'm assuming that's for a shower.
faucet head can be easily removed and replaced with this one, which can then reach a longer distance to allow you to do smaller tasks, such as washing a pet's feet off or taking a small but satisfying bird bath.
Oh, that's pretty wild. Just washing right in your kitchen area without having to do anything. Obviously, this will only want to be used on special occasions because you don't want your floor to be soaking wet. And in the van, there's not much usable floor space. So you don't want this floor to be soaking wet. You're just going to get the rest of the floor wet as well. But I can see this being helpful on some rare occasions.
Nomads like to call them. Because this whole area and the surrounding vinyl planking have been fully waterproofed, this makes an ideal spot for smaller tasks such as these that involve water but must be done on level ground.
That's another thing to consider with this drain. If there's only a drain in one spot, then the van can't be, if the van's like at an angle where it's tilted, where this is the front of the van, then obviously water's not going to go into that drain very well.
What's so truly unique about this space is that it completely transforms from what you see now to an enclosed, private 18 by 27 inch shower.
Cool to have the hidden shower. The benefit of that hidden shower is that you don't have a big room dedicated to just a shower, which you're using only once a day max. However, the downside to having a shower right here is, as I said, if there's a lot of water in this area, then you're kind of going to be getting, I don't know, your main walkway wet. And they said it's waterproof, but still, you probably don't want to have a lot of water just around on the floor. Not a great thing to have.
Personally, we enjoy the open concept that can only be achieved without a full wet bath, but also recognize that being able to shower in your home is a priority to many. This was our solution: a concealed shower pan that pulls out from the toe kick.
The worry that I said about their main area getting very wet is now not a problem because all that water when they shower is going to be trapped in that shower pan and then I assume just go straight down through the drain. So never mind, this is a sick design, it's a really cool design and doesn't have that issue that I talked about.
Drain that matches the exact placement of the one on the floor. A customized shower curtain that lifts up and clips into the ceiling. Using the same shower head from before and the hot water flowing from our electric water heater, this couldn't feel more luxurious.
Pretty easy, as you can see, to pull out that pan, lift up the shower curtain, and then have it hook into the ceiling. Now, one thing I am thinking about though is cleanup. When you're putting the shower curtain away, you don't want to put away just a soaking wet shower curtain. So you probably need to leave this up for a little while to dry off. And that's not ideal in a small space and when this is your main working walkway area to get in and out of the van. I wonder if they have a solution to deal with that issue. That's my only issue right now with this shower placement.
Once stowing the shower head away and switching out the faucet head,
I love, just quick note, love how easy that faucet is to put together though, just using the kitchen sink. That's brilliant.
Sink returns to its original look. This faucet sink combo is a dark stainless steel, which pairs so well with this already dark environment. This switch controls the water pump and will illuminate blue when on. All water running through this 30-gallon freshwater system enters a 3-stage filter and can be manipulated for hot and cold temperatures. This 1500-watt Furrion single-burner induction stovetop features multiple touch settings and adjustments for heat, making cooking in your van easy and stress-free.
Definitely going to do an induction cooktop in my next van. I recently saw a video of a van that was burning down in a neighborhood because of a propane leak inside the converted van. Pretty terrifying. Texted Chase and told him to check the propane system in the Project Today van because don't want that happening, of course, nightmare scenario. And because of that, I'm going to use induction in the future and just avoid propane altogether.
You may have already taken note of our backsplash, which is the dark counterpart to our floor, as matte black tiles transition into highly realistic faux moss. This isn't our first time incorporating hints of greenery into a conversion, but this moss wall aesthetic might take the cake. The kitchen.
That did look really cool. I like the incorporation of greenery into the space, and obviously you don't really have to maintain it. It's faux moss, so just gonna sit there. Looks beautiful.
Is a combination of large and small drawers, including 2 of our signature pull-out tabletops.
I like that pull-out tabletop idea. That's pretty interesting. One small negative about that maybe is you see on that tabletop there's a little ledge that you have to get over. I feel like traditionally on a table you're used to the entire table being level. So having a little ledge might feel kind of awkward when you're using a computer or something. But I don't know, maybe you'd feel okay. I feel like I need to be in this space to truly feel what it's like.
In the farthest drawer from the right, you can find the 52-quart 12-volt refrigerator that has a dual zone option to freeze. Each drawer has sturdy hardware that keeps the drawers from coming open while in motion. Above the main unit, you can find 3 more cabinets, so if one thing is for sure, you should never run out of storage space. Speaking of storage space, when you aren't relaxing or working remotely from this chaise lounge, lift up the cushions to access even more. Coming just over to the right, you'll find your small travel toilet from Dometic, which is supported by 500-pound drawer slides. We imagine this hinged drawer.
I think that's a great setup for the toilet, not in the way of anything. You can easily pull it out all times during the day. I guess unless you have the fridge open, that's the only time, but probably not doing those activities at the same time. Great to have the toilet in the van, adds so much usability, functionality, freedom.
The potential laundry chute, as it fits a large load.
It's funny, laundry is one of those things in the van that I guess I didn't really think about when designing the original Project Today van, and then later we had to retrofit in a system. We figured out something that worked pretty well, but it's just funny, you don't think about it too much, and glad that they thought about this. However, I will say, not great to have laundry, especially if you've been exercising, the laundry's kind of sweaty or something. Not great to have it all stuffed down in this cabinet because then it'll really start to smell. It's better if it can be aired out somehow so that it doesn't smell over time.
Marks the first van we've built that hasn't featured a couch to bed conversion. Thanks to these indented boxes on either side of this fixed bed, no amount of space was sacrificed, and we were able to make this 75 by 53 inch full-size bed possible.
75 inches, so that's pretty good. 6'3", that's pretty solid that you can fit 75 inches in this van. The ProMasters are slightly wider, so that's what allows for this. But this is a sick setup, and I really am a fan of the fixed bed. That's definitely what I'm gonna do in my next van conversion, so that you don't have to worry about setting up the bed each day. It also allows you to have a garage space underneath, which they'll probably show later in this video.
Important to mention, in case you're unfamiliar, that no van we've built has required hookups or shore power of any kind. In order to truly chase sustainable living, each van relies primarily on renewable solar power for its energy. To achieve this, this van is outfitted with 2 panels, each rated to transmit 200 watts of power atop the Cargo Master aluminum roof rack. This rack ties into the stock mounting points and has enough room to add a 3rd panel should you choose to do so.
That roof rack is so minimal. I like it. Minimal design. Looks like it's using 80/20 aluminum or something very similar. Really, this van as a whole is very minimal, aesthetically pleasing, beautiful van, great craftsmanship.
As solar energy is captured from the sun, this Victron Blue Solar 50 amp MPPT charge controller catalogs the power. As a bonus, it's set up with wireless capabilities through Bluetooth, so you can access and monitor power draw and loss all from the convenience of your device. From there, power is captured in a 300 amp hour lithium system. Space has been left to add a fourth battery down the line should you find the need.
Something interesting to consider there is that the electrical system is on the right side of the van. If we're looking from the back, it's on the right side. And the electrical system's fairly heavy. And in the van, obviously you want to try to balance weight with the left and right. So if you have your electrical system on the right side, then they have that kitchen area on the left side. And the kitchen is obviously pretty heavy, where on the right side of the front of the van, they don't have too much, just that bench seat. And I guess the question also is, where is their water located? If it's on the left side of the left wheel well, then it may be a little weight overpowered on that left side. But if it's somewhere else more centralized, then it's probably okay. And just something small to consider, I mean, not small, important to consider while you're building a van is to try to get that weight balance proper.
This fuse box is located in this cabinet to disperse energy to all 12-volt appliances. One of the most important 12-volt appliances are the lights that illuminate and give this home its ambiance. In total, there are 7 lighting options. 4 switches will signal the 4 various LED strips. The remaining 2 will signal the 2 different sets of puck lights. An additional 7th switch can be found right next to the bed, providing some light within the bedroom area.
All of those lights look very beautiful. I guess my question is, do you really need 7 switches? I feel like some of those could probably be combined. I don't know, it's a balance of ease of use by having fewer switches and flexibility by having more zones of lighting. So it's a balance that they went very heavy on the flexibility side, whereas I think I would tend to go maybe have 2 or 3 zones of lights rather than 7.
These Max Air fans are also among the 12-volt appliances housed inside this vehicle.
I've never really seen the Max Air fan with the black cover around it. They probably painted that, but that's a nice little touch. I like the black though, it fits in obviously with the rest of the van, the kind of dark layout contrasted with the wood that they have going on. Like that aesthetic.
Because this is a larger van, we included 2 fans, one at the very front and one directly above the bed. Each is controlled by a separate remote, has multiple vent speeds, and is reversible, pulling air both in and out. As a means of added ventilation, we also have 2 windows directly across from one another. Not only do these windows open up the space tremendously, they also allow for a great cross breeze.
Ventilation is very important in a small space. They do a good job of distributing the ventilation points around the van so that all the air in the van is cycled in and out, and you don't have any spots where air just sits and gets a little gross.
This heater lead, which would allow you to add a gas or a diesel heater very easily, and this USB port beside the bed are among the last 2 12-volt appliances that come wired into this van and stem from the fuse box. Included in this cabinet along with the fuse box is a secondary voltage meter and this 12-volt port that you can use with any 12-volt appliance, such as a speaker or air diffuser. This 4,000-watt pure sine inverter branches off into various 120-volt applications, the first of which are these 2 wall outlets that mirror each other on either side of the van.
Whoa, that's interesting. I've never really seen an outlet that does that, but adds into the aesthetic once again.
The final application is this electric water heater, which can be switched on to heat an additional 2.5 gallons of water without the use of propane or gas. We mentioned earlier that the freshwater capacity in this van is 30 gallons, but it's important to also mention that the gray water capacity is just over half of that, holding 16 gallons.
So it looks like you have to get under the van to empty the gray water system. Plenty of vans have that, but Some vans do have a switch that you can press to automatically empty. Really luxury component that probably isn't necessary because you're not emptying your gray tank all the time. Although if you're gonna have your gray tank under the van like this, you need to keep a constant attention on the level of the water in the gray tank. They might have some system that if it gets to a certain height, it automatically starts letting water out. But you have to watch this because you obviously don't want to overflow your gray tank. That would be bad.
Last but not least, when it comes to power, this is set up to charge off of the alternator via a smart battery isolator. This means that when you're driving or the vehicle is on, you can charge your house battery bank. Aside from solar, this is a reliable energy source should you get a spurt of unexpected cloudy days. We made this ceiling from scratch by ripping down multiple pine beams and attaching them to a piece of plywood covered in canvas. Extending the ceiling around the wall seam was a great way to give this curved illusion. In case you missed it, we did install a swivel seat too, simply because they are such a great alternative seating option. Whether it's in this van or the next, we hope to see you on the road one day.
Awesome, that was a beautiful van. You can really tell that they have experience building vans and the craftsmanship is just top notch. But now you've heard me talk about this van, I want to hear, what do you think about this van? Leave your pros, cons to this design below. And I'll see you next Wednesday.